Good evening. This is CTV News for Monday, July 18th. I'm Denise Douglas.
And I'm Patricia Malone. Glad to have you with us tonight. Well, residents hear firsthand about new plans for Laurel Regional Hospital. The University of Maryland Medical System and area leaders discuss plans to modernize healthcare delivery at the facility. The new agreement will keep all inpatient services currently offered at the hospital through December 31st, 2017.
There are some issues here at Laurel. Our job, we have a history. We've done this all across the state. We're a strong A-rated credit with great partners, and we are quite skilled at bringing community groups like the Laurel Regional Medical Center into our organization, reshaping the delivery of care here, and also rebranding it University of Maryland.
Last summer, Dimensions Healthcare System announced plans to downsize and turn the facility into an ambulatory care center. Many state and local officials were outraged at the time because they say they weren't consulted.
The bitterness you talk about, I think, throughout the community, I know the elected officials, including myself, I think we're very pleased with what we're seeing and we're hearing, and that is that Dimensions will be phased out and a world-class hospital will be moved in. So that's what we're looking for.
The main thing that we want to do is make sure there's quality health care throughout. And this is the step forward. I think residents want to be involved. They want to make sure it's the highest quality of care. What we need is a partnership, and what they've promised us is a partnership.
And the plan is contingent upon Dimensions Health Corporation being awarded a certificate of need to build a new regional center in Largo. If that's approved, all Dimensions facilities would become affiliates of the University of Maryland Medical System.
Law enforcement is once again reeling from yet another shooting that's left one of its own dead. The latest happened over the weekend in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Now, an organization of black law enforcement officials is working to bring an end to the violence. The group wants to rebuild the trust between officers and the community that they serve. CTV's Karen Adams has this story.
Of black law enforcement executives is meeting here in Washington, D.C. It's their 40th anniversary training conference and exhibition. However, with all of the shootings and killings taking place across the nation, organizers here say it's really now time to make a difference.
My work, my uniform is what I do. It's not who I am. My heart is in my community, from where I originated, where my family is. My concern for my community members is just as strong as anyone else who is marching and protesting in the streets.
Durham Police Chief Sherilyn Davis calls the recent shootings of officers, including the one in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, that left 3 officers dead and others wounded over the weekend, troubling and disturbing.
The conversations that we have as an African American organization, we are finding that our conversation needs to be spread amongst the masses of law enforcement leaders around the country.
She believes Noble is uniquely qualified to lead the discussion to work to end the violence because they all are African American.
The beacon for law enforcement right now in such a time as this, it is critical as African American leaders that we use our power, our authority, and our influence in order to impact positive change.
Noble says it's going to take more training and programs to bridge the gap and restore the trust broken between officers and the public.
Various types of training, like implicit bias training, so that officers understand what their biases are. They may not even recognize that, yes, you treated this particular motorist differently than you treated another motorist on another side of town.
Meantime, the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund is condemning the shootings, the third in 2 weeks. In a statement, it urges the media, elected officials, and ordinary citizens to do the same. Its president and CEO, Craig Floyd, says something must be done.
When we lose that trust, then unfortunately we're going to have violence, not only directed toward police, but toward all of us. Because think about that. If the police are at risk, then all of us are at risk.
Noble agrees, but Davis says they can't fix it alone.
That we must bring individuals of influence and leaders of other organizations, particularly organizations in our profession, to the table so that we can help to bridge that gap.
Karen Adams for CTV News.
Thank you for that story, Kadam. 3 officers shot and killed in Baton Rouge, 5 in Dallas, and 1 injured in Milwaukee. These incidents within days of police-involved shootings of black men in Louisiana and Minnesota. In our area, residents say these events and the rise in other violent incidents across the nation are appalling and unsettling.
It's been terrible. I mean, I'm almost at a loss for words, thinking about what's going on down there.
And I just think this whole thing is just a shame. And without our policing this country, what do we have?
I think they unsettle people, and I think they cause some people to think about what we could be doing better in order to prevent these things.
In all, nationally, there have been 4 fatal encounters involving police and civilians in the last 2 weeks, and 8 officers and 2 black men have died.
Another verdict in the Freddie Gray case. Lieutenant Brian Rice has been acquitted of all charges. The 42-year-old was the highest-ranking officer charged in Gray's death. He died in April 2015, 1 week after suffering a spinal injury while in police custody. Rice was charged with manslaughter, misconduct in office, and reckless endangerment. Earlier this week, Baltimore Circuit Court Judge Barry Williams dismissed a second-degree assault charge, and prosecutors dropped a separate misconduct charge. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Denise Douglas. When we come back,